Hello, 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 and welcome back, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. This is your weekly Invincible coverage. I am joined by my usual guests, recurring, returning stars, Oseghale and Victoria. How are you guys doing? How are you feeling? How have you been since we were last together?
That last episode was kind of heavy, man. I'm feeling a lot of things right now, but again, they delivered as usual. I feel happy. I feel fulfilled. So yeah,
Happy to be here.
Yeah, literally same. The episode was a lot. Yeah, but we here.
The
Yeah.
the episode was a lot. It was very there was a point in the episode I was like, damn, this show is it's insanely well rounded. Like every character has depth, every character is dealing with their own shits. And I'm like, wow, there was not that much action in this episode, but a lot of things happened, a lot of things were said, and a lot of the characters got rounded out. Everyone has their own story going on in the background, going on in their head. So it was interesting to see.
It's an emotional one.
It was a very emotional one, and it started off just where we thought in the last episode that someone is going to come save them in space, or someone is going to come save Rex, because when shows do that cliffhanger, it's never it's never what you think is going to happen that happens. But no one did save Rex, and no one saved the guys in space. They ended up figuring something out. But yeah, man, Rex. The episode opens with Rex getting his brains blown out for
Bruh.
all intents and purposes, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I literally said, "Oh shit" out loud because I was like, "Fuck, these guys are not playing."
That was when I messaged in the chat. I was like, you guys, I can't go on because
Oh, you do you like Rex like that?
I mean, after last episode, it's kind of grown on me. I was like, I have to be just got into him. I
Yeah,
mean, he's still done some trash things, so like, but like, he just started making sense. I thought he was in his redemption arc, so I was just like, bro, he can't be gone like that.
I mean, why wasn't he God? You know, yeah, the
I mean,
sounds, everything. I thought he was a god for sure.
to be fair, I did notice that like he was shot like by the side of his head. So
Yeah,
I was like, it's possible that he's still alive. But I was like, but it's also possible that he's very much
gone.
dead and gone. So yeah,
the way I was
that's a
looking
tough
at
one.
you, no, same thing. The way I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, they shot him at the side of his brain. This guy doesn't use that much of his brain anyway, so he might be good. And I was right.
Don't kill me, man. You know what? That's an elite conclusion. I
That's a fair
understand.
point.
I see where that comes from. So, what do you guys think about the social media noise around Invincible right now? That Amazon left it too long between part one of season two and part two of season two, and it's allowed the hype to die down. Not enough people are like watching, following, talking about it. Is that how you guys feel? Would you guys have preferred if all the episodes came out at the same time, or do you like this mid-season breaks that shows go on?
I personally would have preferred if everything just went at the same time. Obviously, I understand like why they wanted to break it into two parts to try and build up the hype. But
Hmm.
when they took the break, they weren't really like promoting it that much, right? Apart from really stuff on their Twitter account. But again, in terms of like the discourse that's going on right now, people are still talking about Invincible, right? They're talking about, oh, there's not enough talk about Invincible, but that's kind of a paradox because you are talking about Invincible. So
Exactly.
it's a win-win at the end of the day, right? Like obviously we don't have any insights into the ratings or anything right now, but I feel like a good amount of people are still watching, and it's just going to keep going up because again the episodes are still crazy. So yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't even realize. I mean, I guess I'm not on socials as actively as I used to be. So I didn't even clock any of this discourse, to be honest. But for me personally, because as we all know, my memory is a bit questionable at times. So not having the gap, because I had to rewatch the first half, I think, before we started last season's episodes, because I forgot what went on. I was like, oh
Mm-hmm.
shit, he did that. So for me personally, I do prefer when they just like continue on. But I feel like a lot of shows have gotten into this like have a massive time period of between like first half, second half. I guess maybe like animation. I mean, the writers, designers, animators, they gotta sleep. And it must be a lot of work. But like, yeah.
So my thing is that, you know, similar to a second, I'm like, people are will end up talking about it, and everyone talking about, people aren't talking about Invincible anymore. Like, please, like, if Omni Man shows up today, like, people will talk. But another thing I was thinking about is that it's not that far fetched. I say back in the day, but shows used to have like winter breaks, or like they would drop a Christmas episode and they would go like on a 2 month break, and it used to usually be a cliffhanger, like, oh crap, and then you can't wait, and it's 2 months. Shows usually, or usually used to have that, but I feel now, me included, everyone's spoiled and we want it all at the same time, especially when we waited so long between season one and season two for Invincible, and then them breaking up the story again. And I think that's where people get annoyed. The same way people got annoyed with Attack on Titan, where it's like, if I wait a long
Bruh.
time, don't split it up again because I've already waited a long time. Back in there, at least those shows that used to do the winter break, they used to come year after year. Like, they would give you season after season and they wouldn't take a long time. But yeah, they they will do this one, these last four. And the painful thing is, we know the cliffhanger at the end of the season is going to be even worse than the mid-season one, and then they're going to go on a long break. Stephen Young said they're already working on season three, though, so I guess
Okay.
that's a good sign. So maybe that will come quicker. But I will say this though, and this is one thing where Invincible needs to be careful, because I think Attack on Titan ended up falling victim to it, is that when the stakes are very high and action is happening very quick and everyone's very excited, everyone's very into it, it is very hard to now ask people to give a 6 month or a 1 year break. Because if this is happening, I want to know where this goes. I want to know the resolution. So with Attack on Titan, a lot of people ended up going to read the manga, and then a lot of people ended up not being as excited for the finale to come out because they had already seen the manga, or they didn't like what they saw in the manga, so it annoyed them a little bit. So they need to be careful with that, because if people end up, especially when they know their source material, so people can end up getting frustrated and going back and saying, let me just find out what happens next, and you've lost that. I think that is where they will lose people, not by giving it the break between like, oh, part one and part two, is when shit gets heavy, shit gets fast, because there's more that's going to happen in this show, and then they ask people to take a break from 100 miles an hour action.
And like the other category of people was people like me. I mean, is it my toxic trait? Maybe. Because I do be starting and not finishing series. Like, that is my brand. But like, for
Exactly.
example, Attack on Titan. Do I know how it ended? Did I follow through? I'm
You know
like,
what?
bro, you
I
left
don't
me
blame
for
you.
like,
I was going to like jump, but I don't blame you. They did themselves. They broke it up into so many parts. It's
yeah.
yeah. I don't
And
blame
for
you
me,
at all.
it wasn't even like intentional, to be honest. Like, obviously, I plan on watching it because from what I can remember, from wherever it is that I stopped, it was like super lit. But then, you know, I did what I do.
That's their loss, man. They
Yeah,
took the piss. I will even say they took the piss. By the time it came out, I was like done with it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still feel like Attack on Titan is a special case because season one and season two, that was 4 years. 4 years of
Oh
waiting,
yeah.
and people were still hyped, so they were like, okay, bet, like as long as they deliver, they can do what they want, and they kept on delivering. So they were like, hey man, fair enough. And that's my thing, right? Like as long as you deliver at the end of the day, like let me know the weights, like let me know you were putting in the work while we were
During the
waiting.
Yeah.
wait, yeah.
That's all I need to know. At that one, that. So me, when I start an anime, I never read the manga, no matter what, no matter how painful it is, no matter how much I want to know.
Oh
I just
man.
wait. I
Fair
just wait.
enough. Fair
So
enough.
I was like, yeah, that one, that. You know what? If y'all want to take 5 years, whatever, just deliver, bro. And when I watched that finale, I was like, damn, yeah, this was it. Like this was everything I waited for. You feel me? Like it closed out perfectly as far as I'm concerned. People that read the manga were angry. They were like, yeah, this thing took so long. I had to go and check what happened, and now I'm not excited. I'm like, I feel that by the end of the day, that's on you. You did that to yourself. You did that to yourself. You could have
So,
been patient.
something funny is even with that Attack, not to get too much into it, is that they ended up changing some bits of the ending from the anime to the manga. They improved it in the anime, so that's one thing that gap also allows people the chance to gauge their audience because it's a different audience that'll read the manga and watch the show, and it could be the same for Invincible. That a gap will help them gauge where are we taking a character, what should we do with this character, can we go like away from what happened in the source material. But yeah, I am happy with them taking breaks. There's a lot of TV to watch. They take a break, something else will fill in the gap. Unfortunately, some people will, fall off. Some people will forget. That is why they need to either give us some bonus material or some more marketing during those breaks or something like that to keep us engaged. And also, especially when they come back, because I know they came back, but that's because we do this
Yeah.
podcast, right? And unless you're going on Prime and you see Invincible plastered on the front page, I just feel in general on like Twitter, YouTube, there hasn't been enough of a marketing push for them from them to say, "Yo, Invincible is back." Go watch this. But yeah, now to one of the one of the main cruxes of this episode, and what I assume is going to be a big deal in the coming episodes and coming seasons. Debbie taking care of this purple boy, right? Victoria called him Barney last week. I
Yeah,
like the
no, it's
name.
like human Barney.
I like the name Barney. I wonder if Barney exists in the Invincible universe, but I like the name Barney. She ended up calling him Oliver, but I like the name Barney, so we'll call him Barney for this podcast. So, would you keep Barney or would you give
No.
him? Damn! No, no, no!
She didn't even let the question land.
Wow! So you wouldn't even like keep him on a Catelyn Stark thing, like as a
No,
lady for my honor, I
because
need to keep him. I can't disregard
um,
this guy.
excuse me, rearing children is hard. She just finally got Mark to a place where he's an independent man that can do his own shit. You're not gonna offload
Nah, that's so fun.
another.
That's actually so funny
No,
when you think about it. Mark just went to college, and like Debbie can
she's
start living her
finally
life.
free, and you want to saddle her with Mr. Barney over there? No, and they called her Mama. I said, wow.
That was so cute, though.
Yeah, I
Shout
mean
out
it's
to
So
cute.
Debbie.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's cute. I like power to Debbie. But for me personally, me and my household, no, please. No,
She has
you
to
gotta
chew his
find.
food for him. She has to chew his food for him.
Bro, why am I going through this kind of thing? And is that like for life?
And
that's
they're hoping it's not.
they're hoping it's not,
Uh,
because right now they were saying his stomach doesn't produce enzymes, so they are hoping his
mm-mm.
virtual might have will like kick in and jumpstart all them other things.
Can you see this additional labor for what? For this man that still hasn't told her sorry for calling her a pet.
For the good of her heart,
Wow,
man. Like
It's,
she's
she's a
just
she's
better
doing
woman than
it.
me.
She's the truth of the matter is that she's doing it for Mark. If we're giving it 100,
Yeah, that's
true.
like
true.
that's his brother, right? And he's like, bro, he literally flew this nigga across the galaxy because their dad ain't shit. You feel me? So
Yeah,
now the mom, she has to step in.
chat.
Yeah.
The woman that stepped up.
That shout out to Debbie. She's the kid is like obviously Siso has interest in this kid, right? And if there's anything that's going to drive a wedge between Mark and Siso, it's this child. Because as we've always said on this podcast, you cannot trust Siso, right? And I don't think Siso has limits. Forget that this is a baby or a child. If Siso gets his hands on that child, I cannot vouch for what he will carry out using that boy. So
No, Cecil
I'm
is crazy.
I'm looking
Because
out for that.
when he was trying to make the case for like them taking him on, he was like, "We paint clouds in the room." I was like,
That was the best thing.
"Cecil, be
I was
for real
like,
right
he's
now."
about to take that child to an experimentation lab for them to poke and prod and
You
drain
know,
and cut
It's ridiculous. And
from that
even
boy,
like
man.
when the nanny showed up, do you
Yeah.
think the second nanny? Because I was thinking this, because the time difference between the first and second nanny was too short. I feel like maybe that first nanny can, like, I don't know, transform or something, and she made herself look
She
like
just shape
the
shifted.
second, yeah, shapeshift, and she made herself look like the second nanny, and then said all the right things that Debbie wanted to hear. Because I was like
I
a
also
little
think
bit too
Debbie
good.
just gave up because she just realized that like
Oh,
Cecil is not going to stop sending these niggas. So I might as well just pick
oh
one.
yeah.
I might as well just
Yeah,
pick
yeah.
one. And
Might as well speak one I like, to be fair.
Mm,
how do you even go about caring for an alien baby, bro? That guy can throw a toy one day and kill you.
Yeah, man.
true.
Oh, and then we had a beautifully sad, tragic montage of the Guardians, you know, all dead, Rex in a coma of some sorts. And what's the name of the tiny girl? She survived
She's
barely.
alive too. Barely.
Yeah,
I always forget that name.
but
No, that was tough.
Rex is in hospital. The Guardians are finished, and now the only heroes in commission are Mark
Immortal.
and Atom Eve.
And immortal.
Oh, I
Because he's
forgot.
refused
Oh
to go on
yeah, Immortal.
holiday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
And
mean,
him,
Mota is not really in commission, right? That man is
Kind of
tricking right
money.
now.
him and his
Yeah.
temper tantrums. And yo, even when Kate died, his speech, everything. This show is really because, like I was saying at the start, right? Every character has is having their moments, and it feels like
Mm,
they're doing it intentionally because every character is having their down, and it feels like they're going to get their hero moment. Like they're going to get, we've been through this, and they're going to show something or they're going to prove something as the show goes on. It always, you see it with a lot of good shows and a lot of good, even anime with a lot of characters where everyone gets, a couple minutes here for you to find out more about them, for them to get fleshed out as a character. And I will admit I didn't really like Immortal until this episode, and I like him a little more now. I He explained his bond with Kate and how she changed his outlook on life and how he's going to miss her. And suddenly he's a very, very angry man. He's angry with the world, angry with everything. And I am scared for the next villain that tries Immortal, bro, because he's going to rip his head off without any questions. But yeah,
I,
RIP to the Guardians.
I was gonna say I didn't realize that Kate's power was a curse. Like, he said it during her,
Yeah.
Yeah,
what, eulogy. And I was like, "Oh wow. I didn't realize
yeah.
that."
She
And
Same.
died.
even when, sorry?
No, no, you go.
No, I was just going to say even when like when they showed like her bodies, I don't know what I thought happened to
Same,
her
same.
bodies
It's like I
when
thought they
she died.
disappeared, which was stupid in
Yeah,
hindsight.
same.
It's like, yo,
So I'm like, how does she generate, like, she's actually been through it, like,
yeah, because it could be like
yeah.
that thing in. Have you seen the Prestige? Have you guys seen the Prestige?
I
No,
might
the
have back in
so
the
in the
day.
Prestige. Sorry, it's going to be spoilers. If you haven't seen the Prestige, I apologize. Hugh Jackman, who's a magician, comes up with this trick after like working with Nikola Tesla in this fictional
Oh, I have
world.
seen it.
Yeah, and the trick is basically like he splits himself in two, and one of them dies basically. But each time he splits himself, he doesn't know which one he's going to come out as. So it's like when I split myself or clone myself, I don't know if I'm going to be the one that's dying or the one that's outside the box, for example. So yeah, Kate has really died multiple times, and she's seen death. It's a pain, like they say, only immortal knows. But yeah, she's gone. Immortal's angry, and we'll see where that leads to. He was almost angry enough to fight Mark. In fact, before all of this even happened, before they found out all of this, his inferiority complex to Mark was already showing, and he wanted to pick up that device with the Martians. And Mark had to sit him down and say, I'm tall, I'm faster, and I'm stronger. And as they say, a small boy, no road, follow him, hustle no be,
Follow up. That's right.
hustle no be my age.
Yeah, that
Oh
was so
god.
funny.
Nah, actually, yeah, that's how we're going to market this second episode. I'm like, a small boy, no road, follow up.
That's fair enough. But yeah, RIP kids, man. That was not a nice way to go at all. That
Mm-mm.
was not a nice way to go. And yeah, like you can tell that like bro, everybody is visibly depressed right now. Like
Life is decking them from all angles, and we've not even got to the main crux, the main depression, the wonderful, the beautiful scene, the most beautiful scene in like the last couple episodes. Mark is crying because he doesn't want to lose Amber. Amber is crying because she doesn't want to lose Mark. Neither of them are doing anything wrong, but it just seems like it can't work because Mark is invincible. Oh my god. And Amber, poor Amber, she's confiding in his work wife. And Kate is just like, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When Rex was like, Mark and Amber are Donzo, Kate's ears perked up. She was like, huh? What did you just say? Oh, poor Amber, man. But yeah, Mark, it's so funny because Mark is talking to Art, which is his dad's best friend, I
Mm.
guess. And, it's always interesting because Art has probably seen or hates Omni Man's guts for how he has done his family. He had the talk with Debbie last time, and his only concern at this point is making sure Mark doesn't end up like his old man, and it's going to be really painful for him if he does. So, what do you guys feel about Mark and Amber in that scene? Mark and Amber's relationship as a whole, and is there any hope for them?
I mean, the thing is, they're trying, they're doing the right things, and they're feeling like right, like they're expressing the guilt, they're expressing this, they're expressing that. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, the superhero doesn't get the girl. It doesn't work like that. Like it doesn't work. Like that's just like you can't have it all. Like
That's
and
actually true.
yeah, like bro, even it's like Spider-Man, right? Like there's in the whole like Spider-Verse comic, bro, there's one Spider-Man that got MJ on. So it's like
There's always a reason. There's always something that happens between him and his love interest. So yeah,
yeah, it's always something like it's literally just too hard to like be a superhero and to be like dating somebody that is human. Like it's ridiculously tough because it's different. Like if you are married, right? Then it's like yeah, the dynamics are kind of different. You feel me? But bro, this is college, bro. This guy thought that oh yeah, I enter uni on a soft, I'll be chilling with my babe, all this kind of stuff. Now every 3 business days they are telling him, "Mama, go to space." Like, bro, how does that work, bro? It's like there's like when they finally have that conversation, like I feel like they're gonna just realize that yeah, like trying to continue this is not gonna help any of them. But at the same time, it's like they need they just need to be honest with each other. Because they you Art asked Mark Eve asked Amber like, so why are you talking to me right now instead of spending time with the other person, you feel me? Like these are the moments that you guys should be spending with each other. They're asking for advice about this and that, but clearly you already know what the issue is, you already know what to do. It's like you're just avoiding that hard conversation at the end of the day. And it's crazy because this is the most like realistic like superhero non-superhero relationship I've probably ever seen displayed in like any kind of media. So it was mad to see that. It's like yo, like bro, like I'm lying to everybody I know because I'm dating Invincible.
and
And it's like
I like the way they've done it because typically it's the way it is in season one where the hero has to lie to the girl and he doesn't tell her anything and that's what ends up breaking them up. But this one is like he's told her everything and you're just seeing how impossible it is even with the honesty. Right. And she said it as herself. Like she thought the lying was the worst part, but now he's told her everything and it's just as bad because he's invincible. So what can he do?
there's literally nothing, bro. It's like you're on a date and there's like a tornado or something. Will you say that oh I'm gonna let these niggas die so I can finish my date? Like, oh man, it's not
Yeah.
realistic.
With great power comes great responsibility. You can't be on the clock as a hero. Although
Yeah.
although I feel like although he said he's treating her the way Omni Man used to treat Debbie and him, which I don't know. I feel Omni Man seems like the kind of nigga who prioritizes work life balance. I'm sure he ignored some calls. calls. He feels like that kind of guy that ignored some calls. Definitely.
For me, I think it was when they said when they were on their date together, and he was like, "This feels like a bad first date." I was like, "Ah, is it rap now?" You know?
Of bad first dates, yeah, because it feels like they're catching up every time they see each other. They're catching up.
Yeah.
What's been happening? What's been happening? I don't know this, that, that, and next thing you know, he has to go again, or he has to speed run her something. And this is the worst part of it that you can even see, and Amber said herself, is that she has to be okay with it. She can't be angry because he's invincible, right? She can't be angry because he's doing the good thing. He's going to save people. He's taking care of his younger brother. Like life has just given him this thing, and like he said, he wishes he didn't have powers because then he would be able to have a normal life, date his girlfriend, and yeah. But Mark, Mark, how many times did I call your name? If you don't allow at least 2 years pass before you hop into Atom Eve's hands, me and you will have
Yeah.
problems.
You stay there now.
because
That guy is
because
steadily
I
on
have
his
a
way.
feeling that it will take one or two missions and then they will save each other and then next thing you know they will kiss. Mark, we will have issues in this house.
Hey man.
Get ready for the issues, man,
Hey
because
man.
rest assured,
Loading ding.
yeah.
Oh god, and it's so funny because Amber is telling Eve how great Mark is at all these things and Rex is in great at, and like Eve is thinking, damn, I've been suffering. Oh. This Mark boy is kind of it's kind of sweet. Maybe I should try for myself, man. Oh, poor poor Amber. Now, books. Read read my books. Read my books. And we thought, honestly, from last episode, I thought Debbie had given away the books that like were important. But Mark found the books at Art's place, and suddenly, we are having hope in our fight against the Viltrumites because they have tried to go to other planets and things have shown them Pepe.
Mm.
So now Mark collected the books and Alan scanned those books, and I'm going to say I still don't trust that old Viltrumite guy, man. I don't care. I don't trust that guy. I'm so sorry. There's something shady there because he escaped. They didn't come to kill him. He said he fought them. How did he escape? How did he survive? Man, I don't trust that guy. But yeah, at least now we have some weapons that could help us against the Viltrumites. One weapon and a couple of animals, and I'm sure there's more in those books. So
Yeah, but the biggest thing is that like how do they even go about finding those weapons, right? Some of like as far as they know, some of them are just legends. Like the Infinity Gun. Nobody even knows if that
if
stuff
it's
is
real,
real.
yeah,
Yeah. So again, it's gonna be a lot of searching for stuff. It's gonna be a lot of hoping. The good thing is that now that Alan has been in the lab, should be able to put up more of a fight against virtual bars. But it's like the odds are like heavily stacked against them.
they need to
So we'll
find
see
those
how it goes.
animals, man. Those 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 animals almost killed Nolan. In fact, I need to see how that thing got resolved. Yeah. I need to see.
The Ragnars, yeah.
Yeah,
They probably had to jump out to be fair.
I want to see how he did it. Oh, even speaking of Nolan, General Craig, he I want. I'm so sorry, right? I'm ready for us to be with the Viltrumites. They're too poetic with everything they say. Let me find that quote this guy said when Nolan was in the cell. He was like, you can be for you to before a Viltrumite can be executed, he must be whole, healed, and purified of his sins, even a sin as craven as yours. And then he told Nolan like join your people. Don't let this be your legacy. You know, we're keeping here for you to get stronger, get better, just so we can execute you. And I feel like the execution will be a trial by combat style of execution. And that's what they're prepping him for. But this one that Nolan still hasn't died yet, I feel like something is he's not going to, that there's going to be a shake up and he's either going to escape or win his trial. And then suddenly people will listen because even Alan said Viltrumites are weird about killing their own. So
Hmm.
I don't
Yo,
know
you bringing that up is actually plays into that Viltrumite guy that's on the council, right? Maybe something similar happened to him and he won his trial.
maybe that's why he was able to escape. They allowed him escape. They're like, as long as we don't hear a single peep from you for the rest of your life, you can go and live it in peace. It's possible because then only one can come on. Hopefully, if he wins, he can come and advise Mark and Mark. Although he won't be able to take part in the fight, but one thing I will say though is that man, it's not looking good. I don't. I think they will give him somebody that will beat him.
Who?
Because I'm assuming the Viltron might have a president or a king. That's the guy that it would give to face
Let's
Nolan.
face Nolan. Yeah.
It might even be that General Craig. That's one. The guy even resembles Sinestro. I'm thinking like it might be a nigga like that that's skinny and that people underrate, and it will be the one to kill Nolan. But yeah, Nolan is clearly a very respected Viltrumite warrior. From the way they talk about him, even on his books about his adventures, Earth is not the first place he has been. So God knows why Earth was the first place he lose God to have a son, or even when he went to Thraxa. So, but yeah, he's clearly conquered a lot of worlds for them. So maybe he has hope in his trial by combat. Maybe he can name a champion and he will pick
Yeah,
somebody.
man. Yeah,
Gets a bit
nigga,
lonely
nigga,
sometimes.
nigga got to Earth, said, "What's in the box?"
He had to know. He had to know. He had a taste and he couldn't get enough. Oh, Nolan Grayson, man. But yeah, I don't think he'll die. I'm excited to see more of General Craig, Thrag, one of them. I think it's Craig right now.
So,
Thrag hasn't come
yeah,
yet.
yeah, I don't think Dark is there.
Yeah, it's going to be a lovely end to the season, and I'm sure there's more coming up in for the finale. I know they're going to leave us with a nasty cliffhanger, a very. But I'm going to try and stay away from the spoilers. Try and stay away from the comics because this story, from people who've read the comics, apparently it runs deep. Like it's not one of those ones where is finished. Like there's books on books on books. It goes deeper. Mark grows up. Like there's enough story for everyone to enjoy. But yeah, what have we not touched on? We've not touched on the fucking
we.
sequids, man. I
Mm-hmm.
look, these things are, how do I put this? Like every time we think or they think that they're done, they do something. And now I'm just wondering, where are we going to go from here? And how strong are these things actually? Because the Martians are really scared of them. Sisu is really scared of them. But they don't have any special powers, right? Like they take over one human. And apparently they will take over one human, and that's the only way they can all unite. Like the way they were on the ship where they were all moving together and they formed one big thing. That's the only way they can unite. It's kind of like apparently they were based on Starro from DC.
Mm.
If you've seen Suicide Squad, you know how that works, where they're like lots of tiny aliens form into this one big thing, and then it can conquer Earth. And all they need is one human for all of them to start
Yeah, and
thinking.
I think that's the issue, right? Like their sheer numbers is the biggest issue because it's like no matter how we they are at the end of the day,
Yeah.
if there's a billion of them things, you are in serious trouble no matter who
But
you
where
are.
will he find them? Because right now he's the only one on Earth.
Yeah, he's the only one on earth, but
That
like
we know
if
of.
he takes that we know, but if he takes
True.
control, it's like he could like signal the others to come to earth in like
True.
one way or the other,
And
right?
apparently, I don't know if you guys knew this or if I missed it at some point in the episode or previous episodes, but those things have been going through the galaxy, leaving a trail of destruction. And they just stopped at Mars because they couldn't get into the Martians. They picked the wrong planet to land on, and they couldn't get into the Martians. So yeah, those things are dangerous, and I don't even know who to blame. That stupid Martian man, that guy needs some slaps. I say I
That
don't know
guy
who
is
to
so
blame. It's him.
ridiculous.
It's
Because I
him.
don't even know why they like took him back with them.
I
To
would
be
have left that
This is
nigga
what I'm
there.
saying. Mark is too
because
nice. He's too heroic. He just can't leave anybody, man. This guy, you know what? I really want to see him make a decision one of these days as this show goes on. I want them to put him in an impossible spot, in a really really tight spot. Like I don't know if you guys saw Zack Snyder on Joe Rogan, right? And the clip was him speaking about Batman and how he wanted Batman to do certain things that Batman is not allowed to do, such as killing, right? And he was like, what if, because he wanted to put in like, what if Batman is in this situation where he has to do this thing and then all Batman fans, and people were like, "Oh no, 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 you can't do that, you can't do that," and it was like you're protecting him in a weird way. Which I'm not going to go as far as saying Batman should kill like that, but I'm saying the interesting part of the story comes when you put him in a situation where it's like either kill or give up something or someone that's really important to you. Like you need to choose how strong is your what do you call it, conviction that I'm not a killer or that I'm a great hero. But yeah, that's one underrated part of Invincible. Mark is going through a very painful, a very slow, a very righteous hero's journey. He's growing every day, doing all the right things though. But his task is just greater than some heroes. He has Herculean tasks to complete.
Yeah, definitely at some point this season, Mark is going to have to make a very hard choice or some very hard choices because this is invincible, right? Like nobody's getting out unscathed. Like people are going to go through hell, and Mark Stone is coming up. Hopefully, it's not something that is going to be like something that's going to like fracture his psyche or anything like that. But that is definitely going to come because it's even like when earlier for the season when they went to like Atlantis or whatever, and those guys freed that monster to fuck him up, and he went back to save them. It's like, yeah, like that's who you are, you're a hero, this and that. But there are going to be situations where that just can't happen. Like something has to give. So I
Yeah,
know, and I feel like building up to that moment in this season is going to be crazy because Angstrom is back, and I know that nigga is on some devious shit. You know what it is for a nigga to wear a suit the first day you are seeing him back in a season? He's wearing a suit to travel the fucking
oh
multiverse. Who
god,
does that, bro?
he
That nigga
was,
is up to no good,
and he was
and he's
stepping.
bro, he's
He
going to put
really
Mark
was.
in hell. Like he didn't even travel straight to Earth. This nigga took a sightseeing tour and he was stretching his legs just to like get the feel of it. Like he's about to be on some shit.
I hope next episode is an Angstrom episode, and there's
Yeah.
enough of him and his plans, his you know personality. I hope it's an Angstrom episode because yeah, I think we have space for it now. The next everyone's gone through their sadness arc in this episode. The next one we've got the Sequids. They can be cooking like in the background. But I want next episode to be an Anctrum episode. Either we spend it with him and see what he's been planning this whole time, or we see him in the clash with Mark and what's left of the heroes on Earth, man.
I feel
Oh, we
like
haven't even seen our boys in a while. The Maulers.
which
We
was
haven't
the
seen them in a
Maulers,
long
right?
time. In a long time. So yeah, here's hoping
I miss the twins, man.
the
They're
next
in
episode.
recovery. They're in recovery.
Let's hope the next episode is a Mauler episode and it's an Angstrom episode. Any final thoughts, guys?
I feel like before they end the season,
Hmm.
Mark's maybe his first difficult decision is ending things with Amber because why is my girl sad in the corner in a party in her first
Mm.
year of college? That's insane. And I just feel like once he makes that like he went to Rex for advice. Rex that just came out of a coma. Are we deep in this?
Rex was like,
So
"Oh God, okay, talk. I beg. This is my
like
own
why
death.
is this
Isn't that
guy here?
important?"
Exactly. Fighting for his life.
Yeah.
So and for Rex to see that like Rex actually had some moments this episode as well. But
Rex is
also not
emotionally
him
intelligent too. Guys.
sorry, not him having to get shot in the head and go into a coma for him to realize he's been treating women badly. Like, excuse me. No, that's
Sometimes all you
impairment.
need is a like strong blow to the head to realize
Like an
you're
actual
You know, in
half
life,
of your
in life,
brain's
in
blown
life,
out.
people learn differently.
exactly.
Some.
Wow,
but
that's scary.
but yeah, shout out to Mark this episode. I feel like this episode he was really like trying to prioritize like Earth and his farm because
Work
Alan
life
came and was like,
balance.
yo, bro, let's go to space right now. And he's like, bro, that's what we're not gonna do.
Yeah.
I just went to space twice. I need to be on Earth right now, type shit.
Yeah.
And it's like I was like, fair enough, man. Respect, respect. Like at least he's not like a complete pushover when it comes to like being heroic. Because the truth of the matter is that even if he went back, if even if he went to Ireland right now, like there would have been no point because those guys are still not ready to face the future, might. Like unless he was going there on a training arc P, then it didn't make any sense for him to go.
He said, "When the fight is popping, I will be there, no matter what."
I'll
Oh,
give you
please, oh,
one.
please. This is episode 2. Just for those keeping score, this is episode 2 now. Next one is episode 3. On my Mark is done getting his ass whooped. Bets.
This
We're
was
still alive. We're still
this
alive.
was an emotional episode. If he
Yeah,
got
no,
his
don't
ass
worry. I'm
beat,
just
I would be
we're
concerned.
still alive. We
Okay.
survived this one. We'll see the next one as well. I say,
Yeah,
Mark,
so
did you see the way he said that? It was like when the fight thing is ready. He's ready to kill, man. Like nobody's
He's not.
touching Mark. He said,
I
"I
don't think
will
He's
be
he's
not.
there."
I don't think he's ready to kill, but I think he's ready to be in the field. He's
Yeah,
ready to be in the field.
exactly.
I don't think he's ready to kill, but he's ready to be in the field.
He's ready to
He's
deal
ready
some
for like
damage.
an internship, shadow work. He's not
Please, man. Shout out to Mark.
full
Also,
time
please, I
employee.
beg. I'm wondering, right? Is Alan is stronger now, right? But
Yeah.
does it now mean that like because he was almost killed by a Viltrumite, he's now strengthened to their level? Because he was
Uh,
handling Immortal like some boy.
but immortal, like, is he really
I mean,
a baddie? I
Immortal
don't
is
know.
strong though.
He's
Like
strong, but he's
he's
a
not
morning.
he's not like he's not like Future Man strong, but he's pretty
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, I think as the season goes on, they will like give like a more clear gauge of how strong Allen is now.
Okay.
And obviously, as again, he's looking like he's a Saiyan. So as he keeps collecting ass
True.
whoopings, I think he's gonna get stronger.
True.
So we'll see.
True. True. True.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Are you guys looking forward to anything for the next episode? Any final thoughts? I think I've already said mine. We already said we want Angstrom. We want the twins.
The twins.
I'm still hoping Amber and Mark survive a little bit
I
more.
want Amber to be free. Why do you want the woman to be in bondage? Please, God.
I just
I want
love
her to be
young
free.
love. I love love.
Yes, young free love. So I hope that she's free from the shackles of Mark, and he's also free, so that they can both live their good lives. They can reconnect later, maybe.
Oh,
That's what I'm looking forward to.
I just remember we didn't even like mention Rick being back and
Oh.
having the craziest PTSD of all time. And it was so ironic that it was Donald that brought him back, who is also having the craziest PTSD of all time. And
Yeah,
he's like, bro, like my memories are wrong, bro. Like I don't even know. Like I know, like I was going through some fucked up shit, but it's like, am I even me right now, bro? Am I like? Cause Rick doesn't even know whether he's a robot or he's like he doesn't know anything
yeah. I
that's
don't think
going
she
on.
knows.
Cause Mark was even like, yo, bro, like this guy looks like nothing happened, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, nigga, that's that C so plastic surgery, my nigga.
That's the
Oh, new
season
you.
special.
That's that new body.
No, it's crazy because he doesn't even like. How do I put it? He is. He's back, right? But this show doesn't gloss over anything. It doesn't skip over anything. It's like if anything happened, it will be discussed or it will be brought up. Like the emotion of it, everyone will. If you think something happened in season 1 and they're not going to talk about it or display the emotion, then yeah, that's why I say this show has more depth and more roundness to the characters than I expected. Any final
Mm.
thoughts?
Um,
Nah, I think we're good.
We good?
What I was going to say, this particular title sequence of this episode was when Rex said I'm basically invincible. That was tough because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know Rex was that tough. I'm not gonna lie.
That's probably one of my favorites. That's in my top 5, I think, for the
For
entire
sure.
yeah,
season 1, season 2. Whereas, like, of course, I'm okay. I'm practically, yeah, that was in my top 5.
yeah. That was
Yeah.
a good one.
I think that's it. That's a good note. That's a good place to sign off. We're at 45 right now. Thank you, guys. I look forward to episode 3. And fingers crossed for the Maulers. Fingers crossed for Levi. Is it Levi or Levy? I'll just call him Angstrom. Fingers crossed for Angstrom. And fingers crossed for Mark escaping another ass whooping.
And fingers crossed for freedom.
Oh, yes. Fingers crossed to freedom. All right,
Yeah.
guys.
Thanks all.